Hey guys, Robbi Spencer here. You know, a lot of people ask me how I keep on the up and up, considering that I have bipolar disorder, manic depression, and I've changed a lot over the past 10 years. I've actually gotten better as a person, and I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that because I took a hard look at my life and realized the parts of me that I didn't want to keep and the parts that I liked about me that I wanted to keep. So I really worked on that and focused on that, and I have people, other human beings who are on this earth who can attest to the fact that I've actually grown and become a better person over time, more sensitive, more understanding, caring, empathetic, and yeah, just a better overall person. So I didn't do it alone. I mean, obviously I couldn't have done it without God. I owe everything to Jesus. You know, my relationship with God is, a personal thing on one level. But as far as to the world, I don't really believe that my relationship with Jesus should be kept hidden, because it's such a powerful reason why I'm successful, why I'm able to do the things that I do, why I have the talents that I have. So I don't want to hide that either. I don't want to push it in people's faces and push them away. But, the reality of it is there's a reason why I'm successful. And I would like to share that with you today. Obviously, first and foremost, God. Second, of all, myself. I love myself, which is, it's a rare thing, to love oneself. But there's nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of us grow up wanting people's approval, and we strive to gain their approval, and when we don't get it, then we feel like we're a piece of crap, and nothing could be farther from the truth, obviously. But I also have some mentors, some people that I look up to, and I think that you guys would really like them. I'm going to put a link in the description, so that way you can find them too as well. They're just really, really great people. I mean, you got Jake Ducey. This guy right here is off the charts positive. Became a millionaire. Lives in Hawaii, right on the water, on the beach and all that, and beautiful home and all that. Not that that's the the purpose of all this. It should never be about that. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. That's basically the way that it works. So you don't go after the money, but I feel like I have to mention it in there somewhere. One of my other really, really favorite people is Sears. I mean, he has such an amazing sense of comedy, and I think that his heart is in the right place. And I think that he's really, really onto something with his comedy. And I mean, at some point, I would like to be him. Not be him, but I would like to do what he does, because his style of comedy and my style of comedy are very almost identical. We both like to make fun of the left, and we're good at it. So anyway, I want you to check him out. I'm going to put a link in the description for Sears and for Jake Ducey. I also want to put a link in the description for you guys to go check out Goode and the Spirit Being Alliance. Some of this stuff may seem a little bit weird or hairy-fairy to you at first, but trust me, guys, there are already beings that are here. They've been here for thousands of years. A lot of the stuff that you hear, they call it conspiracy theory, but it is actually conspiracy fact. So I want you guys to check out the ECETI Stargate official YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to all these guys. It really helps them. Watch some of their videos, like them, comment, interact with them. It really means a lot to them, and you probably get a lot out of this. I really just want you guys to check out people like Todd White. He might be a little bit overly Christian for some of you. I know some of you might have a hard time for him, but he's a mighty man of God, and he really, really knows, what's up. And then, of course, this movie right here, The Cosmic Secret. I've watched it probably 6 times so far. And we watch it while we're working and all that. But anyway, this is an amazing movie. I mean, if you have the money and you're set up to be able to rent movies from YouTube, then just click on this little button over here, buy or rent. Otherwise, there'll be a link in the description where you can watch it for free. But that's only if, you've been hit by this whole COVID thing and, you don't have any money because frickin' you didn't get your stimulus. Then I totally understand it. Then you can just click on it and watch the movie. Anyway, I suggest you watch this. Guys, we are not alone here, and there is an awakening that's going on right now. It's part of what they call the ascension process. And if you've never heard of that, then you are way far behind what's been happening. There was a shift that happened a couple years ago, and it's been an onward kind of a spiraling through a portal that we've been through for the past couple years. And you guys can all see how everything's really speeding up. And you're looking back on your Facebook memories and you're like, oh, wow, a year ago? Oh, wow, 4 years ago? Oh, wow, 8 years ago? It doesn't seem that long, does it? None of that stuff. It seems like time is really speeding up, and I believe that it is. So anyway, guys, I just want you to take some of this stuff to heart. I'm going to leave links for every single one of these things that I just shared in here, and I pray for all of you in Jesus' name that all of you find him and that you get on your mission for God, because that is ultimately what all this is about, is everybody getting on the same page. We're going through an ascension process right now, which means that you are either going to become awakened, and I'm not talking about the woke crowd or the church of woke. I'm talking about a true awakening inside of yourself, where you realize how God put himself inside of you, so much a part of you. One of the best people to listen to, honestly, is Neville Goddard. Absolutely amazing man.
The purpose of this record is to show you how to use your imagination to achieve your every desire. Most men are totally unaware of the creative power of imagination and invariably bow before the dictates of facts and accept life on the basis of the world without. But when you discover this creative power within yourself, you will boldly assert the supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to it. When the man speaks of God in man, he is totally unaware that this power called God in man is man's imagination. This is the creative power in man. There is nothing under heaven that is not plastic as potter's clay to the touch of the shaping spirit of imagination. Once a man said to me, Neville, I love to listen to you talk about imagination, but as I do so, I invariably touch the chair with my fingers and push my feet into the rug, just to keep my sense of the reality and the profundity of things. Well, undoubtedly he is still touching the chair with his fingers and pushing his feet into the rug. But now let me tell you another one who didn't touch with her fingers and didn't push that foot of hers onto the board of the streetcar. It's the story of a young girl, just turned 17. It was Christmas Eve, and she is sad of heart. For that year, she had lost her father in an accident, and she's returning home to what seemed to be an empty house. She was untrained to do anything, so got herself a job as a waitress. This night is quite late, Christmas Eve. It's raining. The car is full of laughing boys and girls home for their Christmas vacation. And she couldn't conceal the tears. Luckily for her, as I said, it was raining. So she stuck her face into the heavens to mingle her tears with the rain. And then, holding the rail of the streetcar, this is what she did. She said, this is not rain, but this is spray from the ocean. And this is not the salt of tears that I taste, but this is the salt of the sea in the wind. And this is not San Diego. This is a ship, and I'm coming into the Bay of Samoa. And there she felt the reality of all that she had imagined. Then came the end of the journey, and all are out. 10 days later, this girl received a letter from a firm in Chicago saying that her aunt, several years before, when she sailed for Europe, deposited with them $3,000 with instructions that if she did not return to America, this money should be paid to her niece. They had just received information of the aunt's death and were now acting upon her instructions. 1 month later, this girl sailed for Samoa. As she came into the bay, it was late that night, and there was salt of the sea in the wind. It wasn't raining, but there was spray in the air, and she actually felt what she felt 1 month before, only this time she had realized her objective. Now this whole record is technique. I want to show you today how to put your wonderful imagination right into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and let it remain there and fall asleep in that state. And I promise you from my own experience, you will realize the state in which you sleep if you could actually feel yourself right into the situation of your fulfilled desire and continue therein until you fall asleep. As you feel yourself right into it, remain in it until you give it all the tones of reality, until you give it all the sensory vividness of reality. As you do it, in that state, quietly fall into sleep. And in a way you will never know, you could never consciously devise the means that will be employed, you will find yourself moving across a series of events leading you towards the objective realization of this state. Now here is a practical technique. The first thing you do, you must know exactly what you want in this world. When you know exactly what you want, make as lifelike a representation as possible of what you would see and what you would touch and what you would do and physically moving in such a state. For example, suppose I wanted a home, but I had no money, but I still know what I want. I, without taking anything into consideration, I would make as lifelike a representation of the home that I would like, with all the things in it that I would want. And then, this night, as I would go to bed, I would, in a state, a drowsy, sleepy state, the state that borders upon sleep, I would imagine that I am actually in such a house, that were I to step off the bed, I would step upon the floor of that house. Were I to leave this room, I would enter the room that is adjacent to my imagined room in that house. And while I am touching the furniture and feeling it to be solidly real, and while I am moving from one room to the other in my imaginary house, I would go sound asleep in that state. And I know that in a way I could not consciously devise, I would realize my house. I have seen it work time and time again. If I wanted promotion in my business, I would ask myself...
So this is how it works, guys. This is real. This is absolutely 100% real.
What would I do? What would I say? What would I see? How would I act? And then in my imagination, I would begin to see and touch and do and act as I would outwardly see and touch and act were I in that position. If I now desired the mate of my life,
so that's the way it works. So your imagination was given to you by God, put inside of you by God. And when you access your imagination, you access parts of God that you never even knew existed. So there's so much good information out there, guys. I hope that this helps you. I know some of you are on your way to trying to find the truth. And I'm telling you, if you check some of these people out, and you watch some of these videos, I think you're going to be really blown away how together these people are with their message, and honestly, how much they know about humanity and psychology and people in general. And so, anyway, I pray that God richly blesses you today, and that you find Him, and that you see the beauty of God in everything that you look at today. Robbi Spencer from SE Studios. God bless you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.